Hi guys, welcome to my live True Crime Movement. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about hazing and the effects that it has on people. So hazing refers to any humiliating, degrading, abusive or dangerous activity expected of someone to join or participate in a group often associated with fraternities, sororities. There have been numerous deaths caused by hazing. One person left blind and can't even talk. The punishment for hazing is a fine or no less than 100 or more than 5,000 or imprisonment not more than 1 year. In New Zealand, a teen was burnt with iron during a sports tournament. A teenager had his bottom burnt with an iron as part of an initiation into a school sports team. One hazing involving Adam Yokes, 19-year-old freshman at BCU, when he unalived on February the 27th, 2021, due to an alcoholic-related hazing incident at an off-campus fraternity event. The next morning, Adam was unresponsive. This incident sparked changes within Greek life. Okay, so let's play some videos about hazing and that. Hope you're all having a great morning. Right. Go to this one. No, one. Hazing. Okay, so I was supposed to do this live the other day, but I didn't actually get to do that. So we'll just start off with this one first.
Prosecutors say those fraternity brothers are trying to cover up a hazing ritual. It has been a marathon court hearing, and today we're expecting a slew of defense attorneys to try and tear the prosecution's case apart. Any comments this morning? This morning, one by one, defense teams will try to convince a judge that former Penn State fraternity brothers should not go to trial in a case of alleged hazing. 18 of them are facing various charges, ranging from evidence tampering to involuntary manslaughter in connection with the death of 19-year-old Tim Piazza.
These are really good kids. They didn't intend to hurt anybody or harm anybody.
But prosecutors Monday revealed new, potentially incriminating texts from some of the young men. One wrote, "I think we are blanked, like beyond blanked. I don't want to go to jail. Hazing is a huge thing," read another. "And make sure the pledges keep quiet about last night in this situation."
We have a friend who's unconscious.
No one in the Beta Theta Pi house called 911 for nearly 12 hours after Piazza fell down the stairs. His devastated parents, Jim and Evelyn, listened in court. How hard was it for the Piazza family to see this text message?
This was a brutally horrible day for the Piazzas. They find it extraordinarily difficult to hear that and see it.
At times, court devolved into a shouting match between the prosecutor and defense attorneys, who argued two private security employees hired by Penn State's Interfraternity Council had visited the party just minutes before Piazza first fell down the stairs.
If that security company doesn't notice problems, how are our respective clients, who are basically young kids, supposed to notice any issues?
Penn State tells us it's still investigating all aspects of the incident and has announced new safety reforms. This hearing was scheduled to end today, but that now appears unlikely. There might be more witnesses, and these attorneys will no doubt have a lot of questions.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel.
So, going on about that, carrying on with that. Sorry, guys. Turn that back around. So, okay, so more than 200 university hazing deaths have occurred in the US since 1898. Survivors are often faced with life-altering conditions. Hazing is a form of initiation that occurs when new members enter certain social groups, most often characterized by degrading, humiliating, and dangerous behaviors. Hazing is associated with students' organizations such as universities, like I said before. A 2024 hazing incident at the University of Iowa is back in the headlines. After body cam footage was released. So I'll show you that. So this is the body
Imagine
cam.
every property you photograph looking flawless instantly. No waiting, no tedious editing, just perfect images every time.
Over here? What? I'll set it inside.
Okay.
Is there anyone in here that needs medical attention? Is anyone here that is against their will? Is there anyone here who is not participating in this? I.e. a leader?
Is there anyone with any sort of physical injury? What's all over you guys?
Just water.
Just water? What's on that dude's tie?
I'm not sure if someone.
You? Come here.
Serena. What does it look like?
Nope, you're gonna stand right over there.
Why?
Because I'm telling you to.
It's my house.
It's your house. You're responsible for everything that happened
This
today.
fraternity.
So, okay. Check in right there. Get up against the wall. Come over here. You're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna stand with your buddy over here. Milliken, take these two, ask some questions about what's going on their arms. You guys are gonna go step over there. So, are you responsible for the house? No. Okay, who's the house dad?
I just told you he works at Summit. Go call him. Go there.
What's his name?
Eric, I told you. Why are you asking me?
Because it sounds like you're responsible for the house.
No.
It sounds like you have some idea of what's going on. You're not very forthcoming with everything.
How about you ask the house dad who you 30 years?
Who we're trying to get hold of.
Okay, go call him. Please. Go call him.
Yeah. Okay. Stay right there.
Stay here.
You guys got IDs on you?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a look at them. Step back. I don't know what you do.
This is
Back up.
private property. I can stay here.
Yeah, but right now we're investigating something that's going on.
Investigating what? There's nothing going on.
Just sit tight there for me. Does anyone want to be forthcoming on what's going on? Anyone? Because you got to see it from my perspective. What the did I just walk into?
Celebration
You know what I mean? Celebration of what?
of life.
Okay, sweet. I got your guys' IDs, so just stay there.
Yes, sir.
Do you see why we're here? Why we're asking questions?
I don't know. Get the wrong guy.
I was gonna ask those guys questions, and then he told them all to start heading out.
What's up?
I was gonna ask those two guys questions, but then they all started falling out.
They left.
No, I stopped them, but he was.
Misunderstood. Did you pull these guys out?
No, I went to go talk to those guys, and then they started coming out.
Why did we come out? So I said that. I said they should come out. You said it? I did. So you're in charge.
I know you said you're not in charge.
Not in charge. I said they should go to their beds. And that's where they sleep? Their new live-ins for the next semester in the spring. Sit tight. There's the house dad's here.
Okay.
So house dad's here. Yep. I
think this time of
yeah.
year can feel quite...
So, yeah, that was a little bit of what's been going on in some of these paternity houses. So, the incident about Adam Oakes changes within Greek life at BUC. He was told to drink a bottle of whiskey until it was finished. Hazing can have life-altering effects on anyone who does it. So every year, college students are getting injured or unalived during events associated with hazing. Heavy drinking and humiliation are a part of it. Washington State University has shut down one of its fraternities for the rest of the decade to multiple hazing violations. So I'll just keep some of these videos going. What do we got? So here's a 19-year-old that was hospitalized. This is quite
An
sad.
angry crowd protesting outside a hospital. They're asking for justice for a 19-year-old who's fighting for his life. His parents say he was forced by other teens to guzzle vodka, be tied to a chair, and then have unspeakable things done to him after he passed out. What some are calling hazing, others say is simply torture.
There is outrage today as a teenager fights for his life in the hospital after a savage hazing. The young man was dropped off at the hospital by some teenagers he had been hanging out with. He was barely breathing. His blood alcohol level 5 times the legal limit. He was covered in spray paint and urine. They split before cops arrived to investigate. Police say this photo of 19-year-old Trent Learcamp was taken that night. It shows Trent passed out on an armchair, covered in paint and garbage. The teens behind him are making obscene gestures. And his family says it wasn't the first time those so-called friends had targeted Trent. This video was posted on social media a week earlier. It shows Trent being taunted by the teens. He sits in a lawn chair, taking the abuse, while being sprayed with a garden hose. Trent's father says his son returned again and again to hang out with the teens because he has no other friends.
They knew that what they were doing was wrong. Obviously, they're not children. Even children wouldn't do something like this. This is heinous. It's crazy.
Trent's plight has struck a chord with other families whose children have been victims of hazing. Danny Santulli was left severely handicapped after a frat party at the University of Missouri. That's Danny in the green blindfold with his fellow pledges. His family says he was told to finish an entire bottle of vodka in just a few hours. He suffered severe alcohol poisoning and was left unable to see, walk, or speak. His aunt, Chrissy Prelu, helps care for him.
This is getting to be such an epidemic, that these kids are not learning. They're not learning that what they're doing is so harmful to these children, and you can die.
Cops in Georgia say they're investigating what happened to Trent.
If a picture could say 1,000 words, then the 1,000 words that picture would say was, that's a horrible incident that occurred.
Horrible. Fucking disaster. Bloody shocking. How the hell? Poor fella, and he went back there thinking that they were his friends. So sad. Okay, so let's have a look at what's, where are we? Right. This is a hazing prevention video that I'd like you guys
In this portion of the course, we provide you with the 4 steps you can take to help prevent hazing.
You can help prevent hazing with a few simple steps. True prevention starts at the beginning and is always a consideration for events, parties, or other membership activities. If you are involved in organizing events or activities, you can help stop hazing before it starts. Sometimes you don't recognize hazing until it is happening around you. Start by assessing the situation and ask yourself some questions. Is it risking or causing physical harm? What would happen if someone posts a picture or a video of this on social media? Is it causing embarrassment, harassment, or ridicule? Is it illegal? Will we have to keep this a secret? Is it wrong?
Don't stand by and give silent approval for the activity. Speak out. While it isn't always easy, find at least one person in the group to talk to and gain support. Ask questions like, is it worth the risk? Who is going to take responsibility for this? What happens if this goes wrong and someone gets hurt? What are we really trying to do here? I'm not okay with this. Are you? No matter your role, you have the power to prevent a bad situation. If the activity continues, you should safely remove yourself from the situation. Depending on your comfort level, you could encourage others to leave with you. Don't put yourself in danger by physically intervening. Do not drive away if you are under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Just leave the area as quickly as possible and call for outside help. Don't allow someone to die or suffer injuries. Do the right thing. Do not hesitate. If life is in danger, call 911 immediately. If it is not a life or death situation, report hazing to the appropriate authorities. You will also want to ask yourself if the organization is right for you. Remember, what you permit, you promote. You have a choice when you encounter hazing. Doing the right thing is the best choice.
Alright, so that's a little prevention video.
Sexless marriages have one thing in common.
Oh.
Prosecutors say there's...
Alright. So this is
the night he lay dying on the floor. One of the members texted, "Adam's dead right now on my floor." And one of the other boys put a smiley face to it. 2 weeks before, text messages went through where they were all making sure the fat kid was there, the obese kid. Or the night it was happening, actually, they were saying somebody rolled Fatty on his side. And then the response was, Fatty is on his side. And somebody said a pig roast came early. Just horrible things.
Adam Oakes was only 19 when he died from alcohol poisoning in 2021. He was just 4 months into his freshman year. For information about hazing, how to report it, and what to do if you see someone in trouble, please visit www.lovelikeadam.com.
And this is about the anti-hazing bill.
This week, President Biden signed a bill into law aiming to combat hazing on college campuses. Tonight, we are hearing from the parents of a Minnesota man whose tragic story prompted this new law. Mariah Containey sat down with Danny Santuli's family tonight and heard about their hopes for change.
Well, Danny Santuli's parents say if the Stop Campus Hazing Act had existed 3 years ago and if they had known at the time about the sanctions against this specific fraternity, they would have never allowed their son to pledge there.
This is a picture of Danny, his graduation picture.
For more than 3 years,
We just want to create more awareness.
the Santuli family has persevered,
You know, we're just trying to tell Danny's story,
determined to share Danny's story and determined to make a change.
but we do want people to understand that this is real, this is going on, and it can happen to anybody.
In October of 2021, Danny Santuli was a freshman at the University of Missouri. During a night of hazing while pledging to Phi Gamma Delta, a fraternity also known as Fiji, the 18-year-old was pressured to drink an entire bottle of vodka.
When freshmen, are involved in a fraternity at the very, very beginning of their freshman year, they're brainwashed.
That evening, no one called for an ambulance. Instead, fraternity members eventually dropped Danny off at the hospital with alcohol poisoning. He was unable to breathe and in cardiac arrest. His family would soon learn Danny had lost his ability to walk, talk, and see.
It's always difficult to look at pictures of the way it was, but I'm so glad we have these pictures and that we had these really good times.
Danny's family is determined to share his story, hoping that no other family will share their experience.
I did go to Capitol Hill with numerous families that lost their boy due to hazing.
A new federal law called the Stop Campus Hazing Act requires colleges to include hazing incidents in their annual security report. It also creates campus-wide hazing prevention programs and requires colleges to publish prevention policies and name the groups in violation of those policies.
This will really open up people's perspective on what they need to do prior to joining a fraternity or sorority. Like, you need to do research, and they also have to give their research to you.
What does Danny Strong mean to all of you?
He's a tough son of a gun. That's what he is. He's a fighter.
Danny's fight is also his family's, fighting for him and fighting for change.
He's alive for a reason. I think he's going to be the miracle story. It might take 10 years. It might take 5 years. It might take 15 years. But he's going to be the miracle story.
That fraternity at the University of Missouri was completely shut down just a few days after Danny's incident, and the Santulli family is spearheading an effort to pass a bill called Danny's Law in Missouri. The law would protect a person who calls 911 in the event of a hazing incident. Danny's family believes that if 911 was called right away that night, Danny would be in a much different position today.
The night he lay dying on the floor, one of the members texted.
Okay, so that's that one, and then we've got another one that passed away over here.
New revelations in the horrifying case of Tim Piazza, the student who died after an alleged hazing ritual at a Penn State fraternity house. Today in court, prosecutors released stunning text messages the frat brothers allegedly sent to one another as Piazza lay dying. ABC's Gio Benitez was right there in the courtroom.
It was a dramatic day in the courtroom as 16 former Penn State fraternity members appeared for a preliminary hearing related to the death of their pledge, 19-year-old Tim Piazza. And prosecutors released a new round of what they say are damning text messages.
There were text message after text message shown in this courtroom today, all of which collectively demonstrate a callous disregard for one human being and a senseless need to try to preserve their own situations.
These messages, which could prove key to the case, were allegedly exchanged between brothers of the now defunct chapter of Beta Theta Pi as Piazza lay dying in a hospital bed. One reads, "He looked expletive dead." Another, "I think we are expletive, like beyond expletive. I think after this we could be kicked off. It's over. And I don't want to go to jail for this. Hazing is a huge thing." A defense attorney saying these messages don't incriminate the defendants.
Probably none of them had the intention, of course, to harm Timothy Piazza, and they're trying to figure it out.
But prosecutors say some of the text messages show an attempt at a cover-up. One brother allegedly urging another to delete a group message that included Piazza so there would be no evidence on Tim's phone. Another writing, "Make sure the pledges keep quiet about last night and the situation."
Tim Piazza would be alive today had there been just simple humanity exercise.
These fraternity guys thought that by erasing text messages or erasing their searches on their internet browser, that they would prevent law enforcement from finding that information. But the reality is, once a text message is sent, once an internet search is conducted, that information can't just disappear. So what they were essentially doing was creating a paper trail that now is being used against them as evidence to show consciousness of guilt.
These messages adding to the pile of evidence the prosecution has already collected as they try to piece together what happened inside that fraternity house where they say a hazing ritual took a twist for the tragic. On the night of February 2nd, prosecutors say Piazza and 13 other Beta Theta Pi pledges participated in a drinking challenge called the Gauntlet, consuming 4 to 5 drinks in just 2 minutes.
They bring the pledges and make them drink copious amounts of alcohol really quickly.
Piazza then reportedly suffering a catastrophic fall down a flight of stairs. Cordell Davis, a fraternity brother who was at the event that night, says he tried to get Piazza the help he needed.
I kind of lost it. I was screaming and yelling. I was saying we need to take him to a hospital. We should call an ambulance, dial 911.
But a grand jury report says no one immediately called 911. Instead, surveillance video captured nearly 8 hours of distress. An injured Piazza trying to get up, repeatedly falling over again. 4 men seen dragging his limp body upstairs, trying to rouse him by slapping his face and pouring water over him.
This was the worst possible debauchery and depravity that you could possibly have.
Instead of dialing 911, the report says the brothers were using their phones to search for the phrases falling asleep after head injury, and a few minutes later, binge drinking, alcohol, bruising or discoloration, cold feet, and cold hands. 12 hours after Piazza's fall, the first call for help.
What's going on today?
We have a friend who's unconscious. He hasn't moved. He's cold extremity. It's calling an ambulance.
When his family saw him in the intensive care unit, they say he was almost unrecognizable. They spoke to my colleague, Dan Harris.
He was all covered up with warming blankets. You were trying to find a spot of skin to touch. The nurse brought me forward and told me to kiss him goodbye. It was hard. And that's what you think of when you close your eyes.
It looked like he got hit by a car. He was in bad shape. He was on full life support. His eyes were half open. He wasn't there. The nurse brought me in a room to see them, and they broke it to me that he wasn't going to wake up ever.
Piazza died from his injuries the next day. Medical experts estimate that his blood alcohol content at the time of the fall was a 0.4.
What was it like for the parents to sit there and hear all of these details, hear those text messages be read out loud?
In Jim Piazza's words, there wasn't a moment today that I couldn't stop thinking about my son, Tim. It is excruciatingly difficult for the Piazzas to sit and to listen to the callous and reckless misconduct of individuals who cost their son his life.
Of course, it's a tragedy, but, that doesn't mean there was any intent involved in any of this.
Tonight, as many continue to ask how this could have happened, the defense is pointing to Penn State, noting that 2 security guards hired by the university called social checkers were at the event mere minutes before Piazza's fall. The company that provides the guards, St. Moritz Security, declining to comment. What does this do to that case, that you have these 2 security guards hired by Penn State going into that fraternity house just 9 minutes before Tim Piazza falls down the stairs?
Well, look, what we understand is these security guards are trained. They know what they're looking for. And if they don't see a problem, how is, for example, 19-year-old Michael Bonatucci, who's a college freshman, supposed to see a problem when trained professionals don't see a problem?
The university now telling ABC News they're implementing new safety and reform initiatives, which include looking at monitoring, spot checks, and adjudication of violations. The university permanently banning Beta Theta Pi, stating hazing and dangerous drinking are not permitted. But Piazza's family questioning why more wasn't done earlier.
The argument from the university is underage drinking has been a difficult problem to solve for many, many years, especially at fraternities, because they're private property and not the property of the university.
I think that's a cop-out.
They should have no underage drinking whatsoever. They should have bouncers and bartenders at any fraternity function where there's alcohol being served.
We should definitely expect Penn State to be hit with a major civil lawsuit. Colleges have to look at their policies in terms of, how much are they doing, and are they doing enough to prevent drinking on college campuses?
A total of 18 young men face charges in Piazza's death, 8 charged with felonies, and the hearing will move into its 3rd day tomorrow. But Piazza's family is seeking more than justice. They say their ultimate goal is making sure no one else suffers like their son, and that another family doesn't have to endure the loss they did.
We have to be the advocates of change. Tim is not just our son anymore. He represents every son and daughter of every family that has someone that they want to send to college, that they want to participate in Greek life.
For Nightline, I'm Gio Benitez in Bellefonte, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, interesting stuff. So these are just some of the appearance photos.
Doesn't always look it.
So this video is an appearance photo. Been affected by the hazing.
Copper kettle, crafted to imperfection.
Pratt are speaking out publicly about what they did to Adam.
I was charged with misdemeanor hazing, and I think that was an accurate charge on my part. I think being the president of the fraternity, I had this position of power, and I chose the wrong path and the wrong road.
The video is part of an upcoming hazing docuseries called Protect This House.
In 2021, there were 6 deaths due to hazing.
Many of these parents now travel the country speaking to pledges and students, urging them to report hazing incidents.
Hazing's only reported 5% of the time.
Tyler Perino is one of the few to report it.
Big Brother night, that was the most I had ever drank in that short amount of time in my life.
He says on his Big Brother night at Delta Tau Delta, frat brothers hazed him with a bottle of whiskey and a 6-pack, and then paddled him repeatedly.
So I was taken out on a stretcher from my dorm to the ambulance and then taken to the hospital.
His blood alcohol was nearly 3 times the legal limit.
It was the worst nightmare come true. We obviously are very lucky that he's still here with us.
Today, he and his mom, Lori, and all these folks want pledges to know it's okay to say no and walk away. And more importantly, not be afraid to call 911 if something goes wrong. In Danny Santuli's case,
No one called 911.
the Santuli's attorney says Andrew's Law in Florida, named after Andrew Kofi, a pledge who died from alcohol poisoning after being forced to drink an entire bottle of whiskey, should be enacted nationwide.
It says that if you are the first person to call 911 after a hazing event where somebody's in trouble, even if you're the person that did the hazing, even if you're the one who handed him the bottle of alcohol, if you're the first one to call 911 to try to save his life, or if you're administering CPR and trying to help him while help is on the way, you will not be prosecuted. You will have immunity.
How many of you believe that your loved one would be okay today if someone had called 911 earlier? Is there any way to stop fraternity hazing?
I think they need to tell their kids to understand all our stories, to understand what happened, because, kids think, well, it can't happen to me. It does happen. It did happen. It will happen again until things change.
My goal, and many of us parents, our goal is to speak to college students, to high school students, so that we can raise awareness. We do not want any other families in what is in this club of parents who have frankly lost their child senselessly to hazing. We want to make a difference. We want to educate, and we want to make sure that this does never happen again.
And we'll just keep fighting and we'll never give up.
The North American Interfraternity Council, which oversees fraternity.
That's all we've got time for, guys. Thank you for coming to my live. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.